Coming up is the final one of the week.
You're listening to Double Tap, your daily accessible technology show. Now, here's your hosts, Stephen Scott and Shaun Priest.
Hey guys, welcome along to another episode of Double Tap. And yes, it is Friday. Shaun Priest, are you prepared for a weekend of... What does Shaun Priest do at the weekend, actually?
Sleep.
Anything?
I am an
sleep?
old man. I'm ready to relax because I've had a stressful day, Stephen Scott.
Oh, tell
I
us
was
more.
accosted at the doctor's today.
Accosted?
Yeah, accosted. I was sat there minding my own business, flicking through my phone, as is my wont with my Meta Ray-Bans on, and some fella came up to me, tapped me on the shoulder and said, "How dare you? You've parked your BMW so close to me, I can't even open my door to get in."
Shaun, I've told you about that.
And I said, "No, not me, mate." And he said, "Yes, it was. I watched you walk in." At which point I took my folded stick out from under my leg and said, "Did you watch me walk in with this at all?" And he went, "What's that?" "No." "Oh, wait, it's not you. I'm sorry." And then just left. And it was, I don't know. It was so amazing. You know, I've got my Ray-Bans on. I'm wearing my blind uniform, but admittedly, no white stick.
Didn't work. Yeah,
I think
that's it.
Negative Julian is absolutely right. The glasses
Well,
on
no,
their
he's
own.
wrong, because Negative Julian says that, it's when you're wearing the uniform, it doesn't work. It absolutely does, but you've got to wear the whole uniform.
But he did make out that sunglasses alone aren't a symbol.
No, that's true. That's absolutely true. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You need to have the whole uniform on.
I thought it was funny, anyway. Yeah,
It
and
is
so
funny.
did everyone who was sat around me when I unfurled the white stick.
Sometimes I have used the blindness to my benefit.
What?
I was funny. I was a doctor's waiting room. I don't know what this says about our age.
It's just a standard joke.
Actually, it was my dad. I was taking him to an appointment, and we got in, and some person was listening to, a person was sitting there listening to music out of the speaker of their smartphone.
Oh, terrible human being.
Loud,
Awful.
dancey type music.
Yeah.
Etc.
Was it a party going on? Was it?
Yeah,
you sure you were
exactly.
in the doctor's? You weren't in a
I thought I'll use my opportunity. This is the one use of the blind card today I can use.
Oh.
And I said loudly to the room, "Goodness, have I walked into a discotheque?"
Discotheque.
That's exactly what I said.
Showing your age, dating yourself there, Steve.
There was a audible gasp from the room.
Did that old man just say disco?
What's a discotheque? Mum, what's a discotheque? What's this man talking about?
Isn't that French? Bibliotech? What are you talking about?
That's right.
Discotheque.
Library.
Thank you.
I think that's right.
Well done.
Yes, so he, I assume it was a he. I don't know why I'm assuming it's a he, but it was. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But anyway, the person did silence their phone at that point.
Who does that?
Nothing was said.
Are you sure it wasn't just his ringtone? And you made a
No,
right idiot
it was
yourself?
going on for a bit. I mean, it was quite loud. I mean, I just think, what? I mean, we're talking yesterday about selfishness and how people are becoming selfish in social media and smartphones. There's an example of it. People think that you really want to hear their conversations, their music of choice, their YouTube video.
Well, you can't help conversation. I know people get annoyed of people talking on the phone, and I get where they're coming from. On a train and you hear someone having a really loud conversation. I get it, but I kind of understand it as well. You're having a conversation.
If you're prepared to have a conversation in public like that,
no, I know where you're going.
Then that should mean I'm allowed to join in.
Why?
I want to
I want to
join it, especially if I'm enjoying the conversation that I'm listening to, and I think I have got comments here. Like if I hear a relationship is clearly doomed, and I'm listening to this relationship fall apart on a FaceTime call, I feel I should get involved. I could help broker a solution here.
Well, you're wrong. But I will say, music, I just think, I've heard that a couple of times now, and every time, and I think this is almost 99.9% of people that hear someone playing music through a Bluetooth speaker, just think, what an idiot. Yeah. What an idiot. That is just so selfish, right? I don't want to hear it. You got headphones. What's the matter with you?
How do you feel about voiceover in the room? Like out with you in the room, if you're out somewhere, do you have it on earbuds or do you have it on the glasses? Do Or if you have to have it out in the room, does that bother you?
If I have to have it, I will have it because I've got no choice, but it will put me off using it. I remember actually on the train trying to use my laptop and my headphones had died.
Oh, nightmare,
and you
right?
think, this is just too loud. So I just didn't use it because what can you do? I mean, unless it's essential, I will use it. But it is a difficult one, right? So why shouldn't you use it? But at the same time, there is the privacy aspect. I don't want everyone hearing my emails or whatever else it may be. But also there is that considerations of others not wanting to hear, eloquence shouting out for 40 minutes maybe.
What I love to do, if it happens, and it has happened sometimes, and like you say, your Bluetooth headphones die, that's why I always carry my USB-C earbuds or AirPods with me.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to have, I bought one ages ago. It was like a Sony PlayStation earbud set thing, right? It was like an earbud and microphone.
Yes.
So it's just a single ear. And it had a 3.5mm headphone jack on it, I guess, for the PlayStation. Never used it on a PlayStation, but it was actually a really good little thing to have around. It was only cost like a few dollars to buy as well.
And then headphone jacks disappeared.
Well, yeah, there was that. Yeah, I mean, fine in a laptop, right? Because obviously they're okay. But, USB-C. And actually, I will say this. Sometimes, I've noticed this on a MacBook as well. Thank you, Apple. Now what they do is, anytime you connect any accessory to the Mac, it asks if you can use the accessory, if it's okay to connect to the accessory. Right. So if you plug in a pair of earbuds, it won't automatically transfer the audio. So instead, it's just barking out from the speakers. Is it okay to use this accessory? Which just is actually quite irritating. So I think, well, what else am I going to do here? And what if I said no? What happens? Do these shrivel up in my hand? Do they disappear?
Though. I think people are more Look, I think as the general public, everyone, my thoughts, everyone's good. Most people are good. I think most people are understanding when it comes to something like that, accidentally shouting out something or whatever. But it's that continual voiceover or
I think
screen
if it was
reader.
happening, I'm very embarrassed by it. I'm always very embarrassed about that kind of thing happening.
When I'm flicking around on my phone at the doctor's surgery there, as I was this morning, that's the reason I had my Ray-Bans on, so I could listen.
I will say, though, I think it's because we've grown up in a different world. I mean, I grew up in a world where when it started to become a thing that people would carry mobile phones.
Yes.
I remember being on a bus and my phone rang and every single person on the bus looked at me.
You were horrified.
What on earth is going on here? Is this person going to take a phone call on a bus?
Yeah.
And I didn't even answer the call. I was so embarrassed about the phone ringing.
Yeah, but do you think that's the same when it comes to specifically music through a Bluetooth speaker? I don't think that's the same. That just seems rude to me.
Oh, it is entirely rude. But I think it's also just that people are becoming so self-absorbed. I mean, it's like the Instagram thing and this idea that I care what some Middle Englander thinks about anything. I don't care about any of this. I don't care who you are or what you're thinking about this particular issue. Why do I care what you think?
Oh, you don't care what people think. Selfish. There we go. Narcissism at its finest, Stephen Scott. That's what's wrong with society today. You need to think about other people's thoughts and feelings.
This coming from a guy who hosts a daily show telling people what they think. Yeah. Hypocritical much.
Wow.
Let's get into emails. Come on.
Email.
I don't want to.
We get email. We get your email every day.
Ding dong.
Here's your mail today.
It's become one of the most popular things we do on this show is play that email jingle,
Yeah,
I think
it's
if we didn't
understandable.
play it. Yeah, I know. It's better than all the rest of it, I'll tell you that. Best 16 seconds of your life.
Feel free to play that jingle loudly, external speakers on any bus or train. People will love it.
Yeah, but I think it's different if you're at a blind event, because I think there's something cool. I have to say, that was one thing I loved about being at CSUN, hearing all the voiceover voices around me. There was something quite nice about that, actually.
Oh, speaking of which, there's something quite nice if you are traveling somewhere and you hear a voiceover, I immediately go, oh, there's someone else using voiceover. I just try and sync them out.
Well, see, what I do, and this is incredibly... you're going to judge me for this, but
yes.
I do occasionally walk around going, double tap, double tap. Great podcast. Double tap. Just to see if anyone notices. No one has.
Yeah, it never works.
Never
well
happens.
done. Yeah, okay.
I suppose
in
if
our
I
own
said
lifetime.
Shaun of the Shed, they'd all be like, oh, Shaun of the Shed,
well.
that's the best thing ever. Ooh.
No, sadly not. Anyway.
I remember
Emails.
the time you were accosted in a hairdresser's, weren't you? Someone
What
would,
was I-
I say, nicely
Oh,
accosted.
yeah, that's right. Oh, God, I wish that would happen more. But yes,
I
it
think,
happened once.
I think the fact that it happened at all is impressive enough. It's
quite
never happened to me.
Quite frankly, amazing. Yes, and you run around saying double tap a lot, so in
shout
a really
the name
loud
of the
voice.
show. Double tap. Double tap.
Yes, we are terrible people. Anyway, now
Right,
to
let's-
our amazing listeners.
Let's go to our very first email today from Manuel.
Hello, Double Tap team. Earlier this summer in June or July, there were 2 software programs or apps that do video description mentioned. One of these was Vidiscribe or Describe, and the other one was Omniscribe or Omnidescribe. I was wondering if you could provide some links to where I can download these software applications. Are there apps on the App Store for these programs? Thank you. Sincerely, Juan Manuel Avila.
Oh,
Well, the short
Juan.
answer to that is yes.
Oh, can you?
What?
What? Provide a link. Go on then.
Well, yes, we can, but I'm saying, yes, these apps do exist.
Oh. Cool.
Thanks, Shaun. Vidiscribe. There to save us, as always. Vidiscribe. That's why I talk to my phone when I'm outside, never to you.
Double tap.
Vidiscribe is the one actually from the people who brought you Speakaboo. That's the same group that made that. Vidiscribe has been around.
Did not know that.
You
Okay.
obviously didn't listen to the interview I did then, clearly.
Okay,
Thanks,
sorry.
Ben. Ben's coming back soon. I'm sure he'll have plenty of words to say to you. He'll have
I
words
missed that one.
to say to
Okay.
you on that.
Have you tried it?
Have
No.
I tried Vidiscribe? No, I haven't actually. The one I tried was Pickybot,
Yes.
which is an app on the phone which you can use. It's just on the phone, I think, isn't it? It's not on desktop or anything that I know of.
Pickybot is just available for the phone, but you can also access it through WhatsApp.
Oh, yeah,
So,
that's right. Yeah.
Can you do video description through WhatsApp? I believe so, but you'd have to check that out. And that is a subscription as well.
Now, these
but
are all for.
What?
Well, I was going to say, these are all for describing videos, right? So if you have a video clip of whatever it might be, you can use them. Now, you mentioned Omnidescribe. I got that slightly wrong. It's Omnidescriber, all one word, Omnidescriber.
Yes, it is.
That's a Windows app. And I've got to say, I think I found a new hobby. I really like this app. So a couple of things you need to know about it before you get into Omnidescribe. You don't have this with Pickybot and you don't have this with Vidiscribe. What you need to do with Omnidescriber is you have to go and get a Gemini API key. Now, stay with me. It's a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be because I must admit, as soon as I heard that, I thought, oh, forget it. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But I did actually ask Gemini, how do I do this? And then it started barking off a load of instructions. Like, yeah. Hang on a minute. I have me and my little Gemini. We have a bit of a fight most days because it wants to start telling me all the steps. I'm like, no, one at a time. And then it starts hearing my screen reader, and we fall out. But anyway, I went to where it told me to go, which was Google AI Studio, which is actually, if you remember, way back when we were testing out the whole Gemini vision. That's where we had to go at first, was the Gemini or the Google AI Studio. When I went to that, I don't know if that's the first time I've been there, but it came up with an option right on the front page that I got to right away, which said, do you want an API key? I didn't really have to go searching for it at all.
Nice.
So I did. I had already signed in. Now, you do have to sign in with your Google account. This is a chargeable thing. Remember this with API keys. These are chargeable things because basically what you're doing is you're using the Google Gemini like a direct connection to that service, and you have to pay. Now, it's often very little amounts. I mean, I think I put in my OpenAI account $20 at one time, and I don't think I've even gone through that yet. It's never charged me any more. I've never used it enough for it to require any more. It depends on what you're doing. And oftentimes, if you were transcribing lots of text, for example, or lots of audio, you might find that you'll burn through a couple of dollars in, and I'm talking hours worth of content. So it's not a hugely expensive thing. It's costing pennies to do each request. Obviously, the more you do, the more you're going to use, the more it's going to cost. But just something to be aware of. You're going to have some credit or at least access for your Google account to charge your Google Gemini account. So you need that API key, which I got actually very easily. Then I had to enter in, if I wanted to, I could use the SAPI 5 voices for the description, or I could use OpenAI's text-to-speech engine itself. And to do that, you had to put in an OpenAI API key so that it could charge that.
You're losing me, Stephen.
It's a little bit convoluted to get started, okay?
It's a little bit scary.
You need the Gemini API key, you need the OpenAI key. So this is maybe not going to be for everybody.
No, I don't think we should say that because it is easy to find. It's just a few more. There's a bit of navigating around, but you can find these things. It's not hidden away.
It's not impossible to do.
Yeah,
it does obviously involve a little bit of money. So just you have to be aware of it. That's all I'm saying. If you're willing to go the distance and try it and get it, then fine. But you need to understand that. So once you've got those two things, and again, this app is built for blind people. It's 100% accessible. Every bit of it is. It's wonderful. Very simple layout. When you go into it first, you've got a number of options. You've got a load file option, which lets you load up a local file that you have. If you've got a video file you've taken from your phone or whatever, maybe something you filmed yourself. In my case, and you'll hear this on Monday, I had a video of the Roborock vacuum. This was a video showing from CES earlier at the start of the year. This was a video of the Roborock vacuum, which, if you might remember, had a little arm that came out of it.
Yeah.
And in the video, it picks up a sock and then takes it off and trundles off and then drops the sock in a basket. So it's kind of tidying up. It's something I could absolutely do in my house for dog toys because they are always everywhere and I'm always falling over them.
Yeah,
so,
squeaking.
Yeah, well, that's right. So, this is a great little thing. But, the video I thought would be really interesting to see because there was no description on it at all. This would be a really good test. So that's what I used as my local file. But you can also drop in a direct link from YouTube. You can actually just take a link from YouTube and it will bring that video in. So if you found a video on YouTube you really want to understand more, and all you're getting is music playing, for example, but the topic is something you really want to understand, then you can bring that directly into the app. So then what you can do is you can choose your prompt. And it gives you different types of options. So, for example, is it a documentary? Is it a meme? Is it a video, like a movie trailer or a tutorial? It gives you all these different options as prompts. So they're preset prompts. So it knows how to describe this video best for you. So the video I had, for example, was only like 30, 40 seconds long. So I chose meme because I needed very short description to explain what was going on. You have to be careful here because if the description is recording for you, might overlap, and there's a couple of issues that came up that I noticed. So anyway, I ran it through it. In the first instance, the issue I had was that the description was quite long, quite detailed, so it kept cutting it off because it only had 30 seconds, right? So the voice was continually being cut off to start the next bit of description. It was like cutting itself off as it was going along. So it would start saying, the robo vacuum picks up and then it would cut off and say, now it's moving to the... Oh, and now it's cut off again because it was moving through each scene. It's kind of time coding it as it goes along.
It doesn't pause the video to give it space for the description, which is something other ones did in the past. It would pause the video, describe it, and then continue playing. I'm not a fan of that, I must say. I would rather it tries...
The pausing.
The pausing, it takes me out of it. I would rather it tries to fit the description in the gap. And it's not always possible, but...
No, and this is a challenge. This is a real challenge. And it does say, and there's a setting in there, which I haven't tried it with a video yet that has got speech in it, but it does have an option to say always interrupt speech. And you can have that enabled or disabled. And I don't know if that means speech as in its own vocals. Speech or vocals in the movie or the video, which would be quite interesting to try. Yeah. So like I said, I'm going to be playing around with this, but I've got to say it was really good. Once I got and what's also pretty cool is you can also, once you've got it, you can export that as a subtitles file. So you can also add captions to your video if you wanted to. You can export the MP3, which is what you have to do to get the track. It's not actually creating a video file that you can then download. It's only giving you the audio track. Yeah, that's something I'd like to see because I think some people would like the combined video and audio, but instead you're getting the audio file, which has got the audio from the movie mixed in, and you can choose the level of how much you want that audio to dip down whilst the speech is reading out. But you can also customize the description as well, so you have full control over that. So if you feel the description is not quite right, or you feel it could just do with a bit more polish. For example, in one case, it said in the video, the robot picks up a second sock. And I knew the video didn't have that in it. I knew what it was doing. It was putting the sock into the basket. It wasn't picking up another one.
Right.
So I could fix that. I could go in and I could edit that particular piece of text, and then I export it. Now you'll hear the results of that on Monday's show because I'm going to play in that clip as part of an interview we're having with Roborock that we'll play on Monday.
Don't leave us hanging. Just give us a general... On Monday. Was it good?
Well, look, I was quite impressed. I thought the voice was brilliant.
OpenAI voices are amazing.
The OpenAI voices were good. I mean, the sappy voices, it was like the Zira or the Hazel or the David, I think it was. Those kind of traditional Microsoft early narrator voices, which are okay again. They're fine as well. And if you don't have an OpenAI account or you don't plan to have one, you can use those voices and they will do the job fine. But, I just thought I'd try them. And you get different types. You can get really custom on those voices. The options inside that, even inside the program, you could go in, you could really tune the voice to suit what you wanted, like how it spoke, the way it delivered, the accent, all of that.
I was reading some of the information from the website, and it said you could also move the descriptions around. So if you felt they were in the wrong place, you could move them around inside the audio.
Yeah, I haven't got to that really point yet. I was interested to know if that was an option, actually.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple of points I thought, that
little bit too late, too early.
Right there, but yeah.
Oh, very nice. Definitely seems like, is that a paid app or is that free?
The app is free.
Yeah, just the API.
It's the APIs you're having to pay for to use. So you need the Gemini API key, and if you want to use the OpenAI voices, which are very good, then you have to pay for that. But I think the amount of, I did it like 4 or 5 times, and I don't even touched much of, if any, of my account. It wasn't a huge video anyway. And I think also the thing you have to be careful of, I see a couple of people mentioning this, what you can upload and use. It's obviously analyzing video, and it will be aware of things like copyright and all the rest of it, I guess. So I don't think if you've got a TV series, I don't think if you've got a TV series downloaded you fancy getting described, it's going to do that for you.
I want to watch The Equalizer 3, but it's not AD.
Well, that's the thing, right? And a lot of people might be thinking the same thing, right? Is this a way to get a show that I've always wanted described done?
Interesting. Why shouldn't it be?
Well, it does raise a question around censorship, doesn't it? In a way, that's a censorship issue. They're censoring us being able to... Well, it's censorship in the sense of it's saying, well, you can't... Yeah, but you could argue censorship, right? It's saying, well, you can't have this. But actually, there's a reason why we want this. There's a reason. It's not because we want to copy a film or turn it into an audio described adventure just for, to sell or whatever else. This is for our own enjoyment. So why isn't that okay?
To be able to take part in it. Yeah, maybe. I want it now. If we can just get to the point where it's doing it in real time, so you just play the unAD'd movie and it just does it automatically, that'd be great.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen anytime.
So the other one to mention is Seeing AI, because it also has this function built in. It's doing the same thing that Pickybot and Vidiscribe do, where they pause the video. It does do the same thing, yeah.
I went looking through the other day because someone asked me about this, and I could not find it in there. Where is it?
Because you're hopeless.
Well, I thought it used to be under World or something, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, but they changed all that.
I know they changed all that, so I went to More, and I still couldn't find it. Where is it then, Stephen Scott? You don't know, do you?
I have no idea.
No.
I remember going to it at the time. I can't remember offhand where it is. But yeah, I'm sure you'll find it in the next break, Shaun, please.
Yeah, no, I won't. I've looked for it. But it's still there if you go to the share sheet on your iPhone, you see all the describe with, and I'm pretty sure it's still in there for Seeing AI. But yeah, okay. Very cool. I like this new AD apps that we're getting. It's very nice.
Yeah, me too. I'm quite excited by this, and I think I love the idea of we've kind of moved along here from again images. I wasn't particularly caring. You mentioned this yesterday, I think, when you were talking about pictures. You're like, I'm just going to delete all my pictures from my phone. I don't care anymore. Yeah. But AI brings them to life in a way that you could get these images described, and suddenly you do have something that is useful to you rather than just IMG 001
that's right.
JPEG.
I always thought I had more time to name them. I'd go through and name them, and I never did.
I know. I said exactly the same thing. I still haven't ripped all my CDs. How many years into that? I'll be dead before those CDs are ripped. But no, I think the idea is absolutely true. I do think though that it's really interesting to see how videos are moving on into this space now as well. So I'm thinking now, like all the video that I took when I was on holiday, I can put through this and it'll make it more enjoyable. There were things that my wife and I would love to. We'll remember the trip because we were there.
Yes,
but there'll be things we either didn't see or didn't notice. And
that's true.
Also, you can't remember everything, right? You're going to hear something and go, God, that's right, that happened, or that person fell off the cruise ship, or whatever it was.
See, that's the other thing, though. That would be so cool.
No one fell off the cruise ship, by the way. Everything was fine.
Thanks for clearing that up. On the next update for Omnidescriber, it'd be cool if you could output a new video with the AD track on.
I've only tried it today and I had some fun with it. I don't know all it's going. Maybe there's like the next button I haven't gotten to yet.
No, I read through and I didn't see an output
that
for video either. I did mention the MP3, but yeah, okay, cool though, very cool. Yeah. Where did you get that from though, Stephen Scott? What's the website?
It's on the internet near you.
Believe it's audioses.com. Audio says audio AUDIOSES.com.
It's the question mark that's making me nervous in your voice.
I know.
The audible
I will check it during
mark.
the break. I will check it.
Yeah, lots of things to check during the break. It's going to be hopefully a long break today. It may need to be 7 minutes long just to get this all answered. Right, look, let's get one more in before we go to break. This is from Dave.
My name is Dave Toth. I've been listening to you guys for a little while now. I've been using AntennaPod to listen to the blind Android users and tried to find you guys on there and could not. Is there an app like AntennaPod that I could use to listen to your past episodes? Or how can I find you on AntennaPod? Also, I've heard you guys mention keyboard shortcuts and not using mice with computers. Just wondering how you do that. I have a PC, not a Mac. Do you have an episode dedicated to that? Or would you be willing to help me out? Thank you in advance. Dave Toth from Ohio. P.S. Love the show. Keep up the good work.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
Thank you very much, Dave, and welcome to the show. I'm a bit of a disadvantage. I don't know what AntennaPod is. Stephen Scott, I'm guessing it's just a podcast app.
I thought it was a frog. Is that not how humanity began?
From
AntennaPod.
Oh, right. Oh, that was very intellectual for you, Stephen Scott.
Did I get that right? I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Nor me, but very good.
I'm so glad smart people listen to this show. I just hear eyes rolling in this show most of the time from our audience.
Sorry, I'll pick that up.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the answer to this one, Stephen Scott? I'm not entirely sure. How can people get to our back catalogue?
Well, on AntennaPod, we are there. So, funnily enough, I was looking for someone else the other day on AntennaPod for something, on the Android version of it at least. Or I think maybe it is only on Android, I don't know. But AntennaPod, yeah, we are there. Because I was looking at the time for chapter markers, that was it. I think it was it Tom in Colorado who got in touch about that? And he was having some issues getting access to the chapter markers. Well, as I say, I did check in. Double Tap is definitely there. So I don't know why you're not finding it, Dave, but it is there. We will try and find a direct link and put it into our show notes for you so that you can maybe click on that and then it'll take you straight to it, if that works. But yeah, it is available on there. That's all I can really tell you at this point. The bigger question, though, is around your comment about keyboard shortcuts, not using the mouse. I'm guessing, Dave, you're not using a screen reader at the moment. That would be my, just picking up what you're saying, because that's what we're talking about. When we're saying we're using our keyboard and we're using our keyboard solely and we don't use the mouse anymore, it's because we're using a screen reader. Now, I will say this, and this is just a general point, but it's important to say, you can use a mouse with a screen reader. It's not like once you turn a screen reader on, the mouse becomes unable to be used. In fact, actually, I would say with NVDA in particular, it's really useful because as you move the mouse around the screen, whatever your mouse lands on, it will speak what is underneath the mouse cursor. And that's really useful. It can be really handy if you're lost. There's a few occasions I've been trying to find something, can't get the screen reader to get to it. So I'd use the mouse and just kind of move and navigate around slowly around the screen. And if I find it, then great. So you can use a mouse with it. But most people, I would say most, not all, but there are a lot of people who are using screen readers that are not using a mouse. In fact, they're using the keyboard alone. And Shaun, maybe you can explain there's a basic concept of how a screen reader works, because it's interesting how, there are a lot of people who just don't know, and the majority, I would say, don't have a clue.
Yeah, it's true. Well, it's a bit of a weird concept, isn't it? Using a computer, if you're coming out from always being able to see the screen, using a using a computer without a mouse, it just seems, well, how could you possibly do it? But yes, most operating systems and most screen readers have complete support with keyboard shortcuts, and it's something, actually, you'll find that even without a visual problem, without visual impairment, the power users...
You mean the gift?
The gift, that is, yes, sight loss. You'll find that power users rely on keyboard shortcuts because it's just so much quicker not to take your hands off the keyboard to pick up a mouse and, move the cursor around. Power users use keyboard shortcuts. Now, actually, how do you learn each specific keyboard shortcut? It's not an easy It's not an easy answer to that. I'm trying to think of a resource. I did a introduction to using computers without being able to see the screen on Shaun of the Shed. So you could try, that gives you a quick example of keyboard shortcuts and the basic concepts behind using them. So I would check that out, either on YouTube, search for Shaun of the Shed. It may even be on the podcast feed as well. So in your AntennaPod, search for Shaun of the Shed, SHAUN. And one of the early ones will be an introduction into using technology when you can't see, and keyboard shortcuts should be covered in there.
My goodness.
There you go.
Well, that podcast is so good. It should almost come back.
Will you please stop it? It's coming back soon. And on
Is
that
it though?
note, I think it's time for the break. We've run out of time. I've got to look up this
Tell
website.
us more, Shaun.
No,
Priest.
but I haven't got time. Sorry. Carry on.
But you just said it's coming soon.
Stop it. Just drop it now, Stephen.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you, David.
Well, I've already forgotten what we're supposed to do during the break, so we'll be
Okay.
right back.
This is Double Tap. We'll be right back.
Double Tap thanks Turtleback Cases for supporting this podcast and for their decades-long commitment to the blind and low vision community. Since 2003, Turtleback has been the original name behind protective leather cases for note-takers, trusted by thousands and designed with real feedback from real users. Made in the USA, their cases are rugged, ergonomic, and built to last. They offer custom-fitted protection for devices like the Victor Reader Stream 3, Blindshell Classic 3, Mantis Q40, Sense Player, Orbit Reader 20, Focus 40, Braille eMotion, and more. Use promo code DT12 for 12% off your entire order. And yes, they ship worldwide via FedEx, complete with tracking. Visit turtlebacklv.com to see the full lineup.
Get in touch with Double Tap. Email feedback@doubletaponair.com. Leave us a voicemail at 1-877-803-4567. And now you can send an audio or video message to us on WhatsApp. That number is 1-613-481-0144.
Okay, so during the break, I did my homework. Did you do yours?
I did, sir. Yes, I did. And I was correct. AudioSES.com is the homepage for the developer of Omnidescriber. And if you just tab until you get to software, hit on that link, and it will take you to a list of his other software as well. But Omnidescriber is in there.
Oh, interesting. I also
you.
can tell by the slurring of your words you've been eating something as well.
I was trying to hide it. I did have a chocolate bar while I was searching. Sorry. Well, I'll just mute for a second while I clean my mouth out.
Mr. Kit Kat over here knows too well the dangers of eating chocolate before you go on here.
I was so hungry. I was fading. Sorry. Anyway, what did you do?
I know, honestly, we've been on here for 31 minutes at this point, and yeah, I mean, already we're starting to think of survival. That's
dear.
kind of where we're at now, yeah. It's
blood
like
sugar.
10 minutes more, we'll be discussing eating each other. It would just be that level. Okay, so I did my homework. I went into the Seeing AI app, and yeah, there is an option under the menu, which is for browse photos. Now, you have to allow access to your library. I did bring in the video that way, that I had just very hastily recorded of myself sticking my tongue out. And yeah,
well, that's
disgusting
gross.
video. And all it did was describe an image in that video. Didn't describe the video. So I think you do have to I think the way to do it at the moment is going in via your Photos app and then, using the share sheet, as you were saying, to actually recognize and describe the video itself. So interesting.
That seems to have changed. I seem to remember it being different in its own little section before. But okay. Very cool. Very cool.
Okay, let's move on to Trevor's email.
G'day, gents. Listening to you two is teaching me a lot about being blind, the global community, and the evolution of the technologies out there, past and hopefully still on their way. It was about a month back when I noticed the Braille markings on our Canadian currency. It was the beginning of the month, so there were actually a couple of bills in the wallet, and I could compare the Braille markings. It was great to discover the Braille denoted the bill, in series, from smallest to largest. It felt so good to learn how to recognise money for myself rather than have to grab the Orcam Read, open Seeing AI, or having to ask a sighted person, or hope that I folded and placed the bills properly after the bank teller identified which was which. No, wait, I stopped for coffee and shouldn't I have 2 5s? In the following days, you had another discussion on Braille. Shaun, you mentioned the Grade 1 and Grade 2 systems, and a listener wrote in about learning the English Braille system, and then feeling so good, he also started in on French. So, to your discussion on the relevancy of Braille, I agree with Yusuf. It's essential literacy. Yep, it's tough to learn, but doesn't everything we have to learn come with an often infuriating learning curve? And Shaun, today, when you mentioned that grade 2 is contracted language, I thought that was amazing. Who doesn't want to read or take in information faster? Anyhow, I'm slowly working my way into grade 1 Braille because it's just another useful tool to know or have. And to your point, Stephen, as to whether it's necessary anymore, of course it is. It works when the power's out and the batteries are dead, and if it helps me distinguish between men's and women's bathrooms from time to time, well, then that's a plus, because not everyone's got a sense of humour about that kind of oops. That all said, it's been a journey to get from having to accept going blind to wanting to know as much as I can, and now just trying not to get. So it's great to just sit, listen and learn from everyone here to help change the mindset to abled again. On the topic of infuriating learning curves, did you know ChatGPT can generate Braille text documents? After a great deal of reluctance to try it, I tried out ChatGPT today. Remember that problem with the whole Linux thing and struggling with the screen reader reading pop-up windows? Well, I thought I'd try using ChatGPT to help clean up writing. When I submitted an ODT file, it read it. So I asked it if it could generate an ODT file with corrections, and it did. Because I identified myself as a blind user, it then offered to generate downloadable audio files or Braille files. I'm not ready for that yet, but I thought there might be a lot of listeners who are and could make use of that function. Heads up though, you do have to create a free account to have ChatGPT generate downloadable files. Thanks again to you both, the Double Tap community, and Laura. Steady on. Trevor.
Wow.
Oh, thank you, Trevor. And I think that's a really important message, to be honest. You know, that always learning, that tool in the toolbox is something we talk about a lot, but I think it's so important that people realize that.
Yeah, I mean,
when you do pick up those new skills, it makes a huge difference, right?
Yeah, it does. And you're absolutely right, Trevor. I mean, all these things we learn are hugely time-consuming, infuriating, all
Yes.
that. They are. I mean, that's just the reality of it. You know, it's the old adage of how do you eat an elephant? One forkful at a time is
Yes.
usually the best way. Like Shaun was trying to do during the break. And
Let it go, Stephen. Let
I'm
it
just
go.
jealous. I want Kit Kats, and there are none in here.
It was a dairy milk, if you're interested.
No, I'm not
Very
interested in that.
nice. Okay.
No, too dry. Dry chocolate. Don't like that.
And ChatGPT being able to generate...
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Move on. Braille files.
What? Who
I haven't
knew?
seen-
I had no
I've
idea.
never seen that before. I will say this: there seems to be. I'm hoping it's better, but there was also an issue not only with ChatGPT but with all of these AI services. When it would generate a file, trying to find a way to download it in an accessible way was really difficult. I've heard people say you need to tell it you're blind in order and give me an accessible link in order to do it. I've heard so many different ways around this, so I know it can be an issue, but hopefully that's going to get better and you can actually download the file. But I do know they've started doing in ChatGPT especially, I think, the audio summary as well, which is very nice.
Yeah. Trevor, good luck with it all. Good luck with the Braille journey as well. It's funny, you know, I have such a reputation out there from people. And I had it the other day. Someone said to me, you know, we wanted you to talk about Braille, but then a few people were kind of nervous because, you know, you've got a reputation for being anti-Braille. And I'm
You're
like,
anti-Brailleist,
what on
Stephen
earth
Scott.
are you talking about? I have sat here for years now talking about the importance of Braille. I have had some serious questions around how it remains relevant, how it continues into the future, which I don't hear anyone else doing, by the way. Everyone else just keeps going on about how great it is and we shouldn't ever question anything about the great Braille. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but you know, we have to also realize there is a challenge here in that there is still an issue with cost. There is still an issue with young people being able to access teaching. You know, we have to talk about these things because if we don't, it will go away. And
Which
every
would
time
be
I say
a huge
that,
problem.
yeah, exactly. And every time I raise this issue, people say that I'm talking down Braille. I don't think you're listening to me if that's the case. I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying. I'm trying to raise awareness of the challenges so that someone might actually address them and then it can be here forever. Just saying, oh, it's all great, everything's wonderful, just, you know, just shut up about it. Doesn't really solve anything, does it?
No, it doesn't. And we've seen before. I mean, how many years was it that you try and get, hey, I'd like to learn Braille, and well, sorry, there's no demand for that, so we don't offer that service.
Well, that's still the case.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's less so now. I think we see.
No, I don't think it is. I'm sorry, I don't think it is. I said this to you yesterday or whenever it was this week. We were talking about it, and I'm saying, where are these places I go? Where can I go? Where can I sign up for a year's course on learning Braille? Because I'm telling you, tell me what it is, I'll sign up. But there isn't one. Is there a university? Is there a college? Is there somewhere?
No,
I
but
go back to college for that. I'd love
far
to do
more,
that.
You're seeing far more online organisation services, the Brailleist Foundation,
Of course, yes.
Brailleist.org.
Brilliant.
All these places you can, Hadley, obviously. I mean, there's lots of places out there now which I think are doing an amazing job.
Okay, so what college can I go to? Where's the college?
What college do you want to go to? You can do it
I don't care.
online, Stephen Scott.
Oh, great. Right. But I was kind of hoping I might meet some other blind people along the
Well,
way,
you
not
can't.
just sit in a Zoom room.
Stop it. You're still meeting people, just virtually.
I don't know. It's
You don't like meeting people.
I can go in a course to teach me how to, sew, probably, right? I'm like,
Can you?
okay, great. Is sewing going to change the world for someone? Maybe it will. But I also think, if literacy is so important, why is it so hard to access?
No,
in
I
the
agree
Braille
with
world?
you. No, I totally agree with you. Yeah, you are right. But this is where I expect sight loss organisations to offer these classes. Cause
No, not charities.
Yeah,
No,
but who-
no.
yeah,
no
but who
charities.
else?
Why is it
Who-
always charities?
Because who else offers them? If you go to a government organisation, right, they usually outsource it through charities anyway. It's not like they do it themselves.
But there's a thing out there. I mean, I'm just going to throw this out, just random thought, right? I know completely off. I mean, I know Mr.
Well, you are
Anti-Braille over here.
anti-Braille,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I'm so anti-Braille. I'm just trying to get everyone to learn it. There's a thing called an educational institution. Don't know if you've heard of it. College, university. No interest. No one.
What,
gonna
you saying
teach
there
us?
should be a night school for Braille?
Is that shocking to you? Is that a controversial idea to you?
No, I just don't see the difference between that and the classes offered by sight loss organisations.
There are certifications you can get in
Is there?
JAWS right now.
Oh, yeah, in JAWS, yes.
I can go
And
if I was sighted. There's a range of options available to me to learn Braille. There's courses I can go on in colleges. I can go and learn to be a teacher. So if I wanted to be a teacher,
Are we
I
talking
could go-
TVI or just a teacher?
yeah. I could go and be a teacher, for Braille kids, for Braille kids,
Braille kids.
for Braille children. That's like a new game. It's like some kind of Sylvanian families for
superheroes.
blind people. Yeah, that's right, Braille children. For blind kids, right? If I want to go and teach blind kids Braille, I could go and do that. Although the interesting thing was when I inquired about it, they said, "Oh no, that's a sighted course." Right. So
Why
I can
would
get a
that be?
sighted course.
I'm
But
sorry,
I'm
that just
blind.
sounds wrong. Why?
I think it goes to the point I've been making for plenty of time, way enough time on this program.
How much you
about
hate Braille, yeah.
how much sighted people are embedded into the culture of we provide for you as the blind person. When can blind people do it for themselves? That's the question I have, and you can only do that with the available capabilities of getting a qualification that I could then go and teach blind children. Look, I know people do it. But oftentimes these people who are doing it, who are blind, have often learned Braille from a very young age. They were learning at school. So I'm saying it seems like the only way to get access to Braille nowadays, to like a proper course with a teacher, to sit down and focus the mind, because it's all very well saying, yeah, there's online stuff. Look, there's always an online course. That's great. But there's also a reason not to attend an online course. Oh, I'm busy this week, or the kid's sick, or the dog's ill. There's always an excuse not to do it. If you had to go to college every week, if you had to force yourself to do it, it would really focus the mind, and I think it'd be a great thing. And also it would get you out there.
Believe me, as someone who went to college, there was plenty of reasons of not going to lectures, plenty of times. So that's not always the case.
Well, again, it's adult learning for a specific purpose. I think it's a different
because
thing.
you want to.
Yeah, I want to. I'd love to do that. If such a thing exists, I'm going to look into this, actually. I'm going to stop whining about it.
Yeah,
whining
what's going on?
and moaning. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to Google it. Me and my good friend Gemini on the
Stephen
case.
Scott goes back to college.
Wouldn't that be
Sounds like
great?
a Netflix series.
Wouldn't it be the worst thing for those people in that college? As Mr. Anti-Braille walks in.
It's actually
I hate this thing. I hate it with a passion so much, I want to learn it.
It's actually interesting, though. That would be interesting to see what resources, because I haven't done that in years. I always remember going, ringing my local adult care services and being told, "No, there's no call for that. We don't offer it." But that was quite a few years ago now. I'd be interested for you to look into that, actually.
Yeah.
I want to see what's out there. Okay.
It's just the amount of rubbish that they teach at university nowadays. Utter waste of time courses that are just a waste of anybody's energy. And
dare
yet,
you.
I can't get a Braille course. It's ridiculous. It really is.
If you don't know you can't yet, it might be there just waiting for you, Stephen Scott.
Only thing is, if it is on a Tuesday, I can't do Tuesdays. That's the only thing. Can't do Tuesdays. I'm kind of, and I keep my weekends to myself.
Wednesday's
kind of like
difficult.
a Monday off as well, if I'm honest. Friday's not great because it's Friday. So, Wednesday, kind of between 2 and 3, fine.
All right. As long as you're flexible, Stephen Scott, it'll be fine.
That's it. It'll be absolutely fine. Can't see a
Any
problem with
excuse.
any of that. Right, let's move on to Dan.
Hi, Stephen and Shaun. I appreciate the fact that you continue talking about the topics of Braille, training, and employment. I would like to mention something about new products. We are in a difficult position where there is new technology which could be beneficial if it were made available to any blind person who needs it. I'm frustrated with the articles and newsletters from the American Printing House for the Blind about the Monarch. They say it is a revolutionary device. That may be true, but unless it is made available to more people, it won't matter. Designing a device for students is well and good, but it only benefits a small part of the blind population. I don't mean to single out APH. There are other graphics displays which are promising, but they aren't available. I recently read a blog post about the CSUN conference by Kirk Adams, where he raised this issue. He went on to say that we need graphics displays which don't use pins, but didn't elaborate on what technology could do this. If this is even possible, who will do the research and development? If we can't make current graphics displays available to people who need them, what difference will a newer technology make? In the US, public funding is decreasing for almost everything, and the blind population will need to compete with other special interest groups. We have been in this situation before. I remember using the original Kurzweil reading machine in high school. The device was primitive, impractical, and expensive. Only a university could afford one. If this device had not been developed, funded, and used, we might not have the scanning technology we enjoy today. I don't take it for granted when I use my iPhone or Meta glasses to scan and read text. I remember when this was not possible. I doubt that graphics displays will become better and cheaper unless current products are made more widely available. I am surprised that product developers are scaling down rather than up when developing these devices. You would think developers would start with a device about the size of a phone to demonstrate that graphics technology would work. Smaller devices might be more affordable. The Opticon was a small device and did some tasks very well. It became widely available, though it is obsolete. Imagine what would have happened if developers would have tried making larger graphics devices instead of the Opticon. They would have been prohibitively expensive. I can't imagine carrying around the Monarch or similar devices just to use it with a phone. Last year, I saw the Cadence tablet when I visited Tactile Engineering. I liked the device and tested it with my iPhone. It works with a standard Windows computer using NVDA. I would like to get the device, but doubt this will happen. I live in Illinois, and public funding isn't available. Tactile Engineering is located in Indiana and was able to make the device available to every blind student in a public school. This was a major achievement. What will it take to get public funding in other places? In the United States, we have a patchwork system where technology and services are available in some states but not in others. I wonder if the situation is different in other countries. I would like to do anything I can to improve the situation, but feel like my hands are tied. I have exhausted every resource I can think of. I am grateful for the technology I do have and consider myself lucky. I hope the situation will improve for everyone, but I'm doubtful that anything will change unless sighted people get rid of the misconceptions they have about blind people. We can do the best we can to change perceptions, but that only solves part of the problem. I don't like getting political, but I feel like the United States is getting rid of the safety net for everyone. The Republican Party just wants tax cuts for the rich. I don't feel particularly singled out as a blind person, but do think my experience is typical for the average American. We can't improve the lives of blind people unless we improve the lives for everyone. From Dan.
Yeah, that's so true. Again, we're people first, as far as I'm concerned. That's my view on it. And I don't know why that's controversial, but even that appears to be controversial nowadays. I think it always lends itself to, and I hate to come away from it negatively, but it feels like everything's so out of reach in some ways. It's like all the potential, all the options are there, but they're just so out of reach. I hear people talk about this Monarch, and I've seen so many posts about it. And of course, it's a wonderful piece of technology. But does it matter if so few people can actually access it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a positive spin on this, to be honest, but I think I agree with everything that was said there. It's so difficult. If something is financially out of reach, then it may as well not exist. The only thing I can think of is that, in the case of something like the Monarch, and as you rightfully said, there's other devices, similar devices out there, even Braille displays are out of reach for a lot of people anyway. The use in education, giving young children access and showing them that this technology is out there, even though, as you mentioned, it's a small, very small amount of people that actually get to use this technology, I think it is important. It gives them the ability to know that maybe, using this technology allows a certain task to be, or even employment routes to open up to them. So I think it is very important, but yeah, it is really difficult, right? This is a great technology that only a very, very small amount of people are ever going to use.
Yeah, and I try and always equate it into the mainstream, right? And I think, someone might decide, for example, a tractor would be a great car to have. But the reality is it's very expensive and you don't really need it for one task. So the place you need it is in the place of employment, which is the farm, right? Mm-hmm. Might be a great car to own, but really you're not going to use it for that and you probably don't need it for that. So do we maybe look at this technology more as well? This is something that is going to be for the workplace. It's going to be for education. It's going to be for those places. The idea of this being a consumer device is just way, way off, if ever achievable. If we just got to get that out of our head, because it's almost like it's so niche at this point, and you're within a niche already.
But then, what do we feel about pushing it as, breaking barriers and being the must-have technology? Because doesn't that sort of give people false hope that, hey, this technology is out here that makes, tactile graphics accessible, and then, well, actually, it's not accessible because it's beyond most people's reach financially.
It is very hard in our world.
Do you not talk about it at all in that case? And then,
I think
not right
you talk about it, yes, but I think you have to be realistic, and that's the thing, right? I mean, look, I know there's lots of people who you'll see online who rave about it and rave about the Monarch being the greatest thing in the world, but then you learn they work for Humanware. So it's like, well, of course they're going to say that. That's their job. They're
but
to
that may
sell
be
it.
very, very true. It may be absolutely fantastic.
But it doesn't change the fact that it's in reality. I mean, in fantasy, yes, it's wonderful and everyone should have one, says the people who want you to buy one. Yes. I mean, if I walk past a Bentley dealership and they don't know I'm blind, they're probably going to try and sell me a Bentley and tell me all the wonderful things about it. Do they own one? Probably not, because why not? You can't afford one, that's why. So you don't going to have one. So I think for me, it's a case of, I think these things are great, we should talk about them, but we have to be realistic. Are they breaking barriers and changing the world for blind people? No, they're not, because they're not available to the vast majority of blind people and may never be. Not in their current form. Now, whether or not that's a new technology that's required to achieve that, I don't know. And it's not against any one company. It's not against Dot or Humanware or anyone else who are trying to get into this space. Innovation is good. But let's be real about it. Let's not sell this falsely, that it's some kind of solution to all our problems, because it's not. The vast majority of people are not going to get hands on this. They'll be lucky if their local Humanware representative can get hands on with it at the moment.
Yes, true.
So there's that. And, you mentioned Braille display earlier, right? And it was funny. I saw a comment on a Braille group on Facebook. And it really just brings us back to a really important point here, grounds us, I think, on this. When I saw someone say, how do you people afford these Braille displays? I mean, it was such a question that was thrown in the mix of all this discussion about Braille tech. How are you affording this stuff?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, I afforded my Mantis Q40 by financing it. And it took me a year to finance it, a considerable amount of money over the year period. It's the only way I was going to get it. Mm-hmm. I didn't have that kind of money lying around to just throw towards a device like this. And so there's a real challenge here for a lot of people. The challenge is always going to be price. And I know people hate me bringing up price. But I'm sorry, there's no other way around it. There are so many people who are never going to access it. And that goes back to our point earlier about the future of it. How can the future of Braille be bright when the technology seems so far out of reach for so many people? The people we hear about who are talking this stuff up might be in good jobs that can afford to buy it. That's great. Good for you. We want more people like that out there. Absolutely. But if you're putting all the hopes and pinning everything on Braille, like I saw a comment the other day from someone, who said, you know, oh, I think it was the Braille. There was a big event with Braille. I don't know if it was a learning event or what it was, but whatever it was, there was a winners table or something of people who'd done really well in relating to Braille.
Yeah.
And someone said, here is a perfect example why Braille, you know, shows that blind people are more capable in the workplace with Braille. And I must say, I was pretty irritated by that.
I thought you would be.
Really, so the only way to be successful in business or successful in any meaningful way is to have Braille. I don't believe that to be true. I just don't. I don't believe that to be true. Am I saying you're less capable? No. But there are people who've managed for years, people who are in very high-powered jobs, we've interviewed them, who've never touched Braille, have no desire for it, no need for it, and have succeeded very well. So I think it's disingenuous to say that Braille is somehow the route to success for everything. Sometimes I feel that the Braille advocacy community really oversell Braille sometimes to me. That's the issue I have.
Really?
I have no issue with Braille. I have no issue with Braille at all. I think all children should learn it. I think they oversell it as it's the only path to literacy. It's the only path to success.
Yeah, of course not. No.
Don't believe you. Sorry.
Again, going back to the tools
learn a screen reader.
Yeah.
Learn a screen reader, and I think you're going to get a lot further.
Ooh.
And on that bombshell, we say goodbye.
Wow, Mr. Anti-Braille there finishes off on a bombshell.
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Anti-Braille.
Feedback at doubletaponair.com.
Tell us your thoughts. Listen, have a great weekend. Don't forget the Double Tap Extra podcast. There's going to be more conversations on there around Braille, funnily enough. You're going to love that. Do check that out on the Double Tap Extra feed. We're back Monday. I will catch you then. Shaun, have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.